I think you're cutting out a little bit. Yeah. Maybe? Yeah. Sounds about right. Um, Maybe I'll help antimony. Um, oh, what's yours, antimony? Okay, then you should have advantage. Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wherever the most Hicks are. That's probably Alberta. Yeah. Yeah. We're looking for people who also own houses on fields or wherever. Yeah. Well, that's good. Seems a good place to start. Now move your fucking paper. We're like reading some interesting shit here. I don't know. It's useful for me. Yeah. 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 Nice.
The healing potions, if we want to do that now.
I think it was 2 regular healing potions for each of you.
That's what I wrote down, but we hadn't decided if we were each carrying 2.
Ah, okay.
Sorry, maybe it doesn't matter, but but maybe someone has feelings about it. I don't know.
Sorry,
we'll
what?
never have a record of looking through court documents.
No. Oh, well.
Adakora playing guitar. For those of you just tuning in, it was a whole ballad. It was really good.
Yeah, he's very skilled.
I feel like Adakora was sometimes like acoustic guitar guy at parties in college.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Yeah. Anyway, here's this folk song from Visayas Teal that everyone in Visayas Teal knows, but nobody in Rexentrum knows.
Unfortunate. Probably true. Okay, so we're just each taking 2 healing potions.
Ida wants at least 2, but if you guys want to divide them up in the other way, she doesn't care. She's like, I'll take more than 2 if you want, but I definitely want 2. Whatever you guys think is best. I haven't really fought with you guys a ton yet since you know, sent me away last time.
Yeah.
Well, sorry. Yeah.
And these are just the regular healing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else I want to do. It does seem
All right.
like doing this faster is better for people, certain people. Maybe not for us, but you know. Emmerich would probably appreciate it.
Probably. Yeah, Ida's ready to go.
can also
Well,
go faster.
I need to pack some
What are you
clothes.
packing? Books?
Clothes.
Clothes. Okay.
It's something Ida can't pack for me.
True.
This is an excuse for me to get away for a minute. But ostensibly close. Yeah. I'm going to go briefly see if there's a place I can call Honolulu from.
Okay, yeah. You're very good at finding out of the way places to make secret phone calls.
A skill very few people have in this world. There aren't that many
people
phones.
need it. Yeah.
It'll be really big in 1,000 years.
You're just really ahead of the times.
I will use the sending stone to call her.
All right. She answers pretty quickly. She doesn't seem like she was doing anything else. Hey.
Hey. It looks like we're taking off pretty quickly here.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the way the girls are going at it, we'll probably be in Blumenthal by tonight, and I don't know if they're going to want to stop. So here goes.
Well, that's good. Probably better not to wait. Sorry.
Do you think we're?
Go
Do you
ahead.
think we're in over our heads with this one?
I don't know. I wish I could take care of this myself, but I'm under strict orders not to go running after the myriad. So
Better to ask forgiveness.
not from the trust.
Look, if this goes poorly and you don't hear from me for a little while, I just wanted to say I chose to do this. I've made a lot of choices, and undoubtedly, some of them were questionable, but they're mine. And between the two of us, there's nothing I blame you for.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I'll call you when I can.
Okay. And if you get there and it turns out you are in over your head, just get out.
All right. Be safe.
Be careful.
Always. I hang up.
Okay.
And I come back with clothes.
Okay.
Let's go.
Finally, says Ida.
Well, I couldn't decide what shirt I wanted to wear tomorrow. I'm assuming this one will be covered with stab wounds.
It might. But look, if we get into any fights, just try to let me do the close-up stuff.
We had a talk, and Timmy and I will be doing the far away stuff. And Ophelia will be doing whatever she wants.
Well, never doubted that. She always does whatever she wants. Okay, so you are on the road to Blumenthal with your horses. It's going to be, I think, quicker than the carriage ride. So, like, you're going to get there. It's going to be like late tonight, probably, when you get there.
Are we trying to go straight to town to ask questions? Or are we trying to go towards some of the outlying houses where it's likely to be? If it's a vote, I'm voting for going straight there, but
You guys did that job in Blumenthal, like, what, a couple months ago? Right?
yeah, it hasn't been all that long.
I think maybe probably would be better if you didn't get recognized.
That's a good point.
I mean, I don't know how many people you like really got to know in town, but probably better if we as few people as possible notice us snooping around. So I guess I'm also voting for just go to the houses.
Well, what do you guys think?
I might have gotten stuff a little mixed up, but do we know which house it is, or do we just know the name of the owner of the particular house?
You have a general idea.
I think what everyone knows is the Aldersfeld's name would have been in the paperwork, and they have an estate somewhere outside of Blumenthal. We have a general idea. There are some other estates around there that are not their house and not associated with Myriad activity at all. Yes?
Yep. And yeah, you probably have like some vague directions for like the general location of their house. You could probably find it without too much trouble, even if you didn't go ask somebody. But I'm probably going to make you roll a check if you don't like ask for directions in town, because those would be more exact.
Just going out sounds fine. there can't be too many houses out there.
Rousing words.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tim, if you wanted to hang out in the one tavern in Blumenthal, you're out of luck. I think we're going to that. You're outvoted.
Alas.
Okay, so it's probably like, I don't know, 10 o'clock-ish by the time you get to Blumenthal, maybe a little later than that. It's definitely like very dark. People are not out because it is late fall, early winter, and it is cold. They probably have a little snow by now. But yeah, it's, the weather's not too bad. There's not like a snowstorm or anything. You guys can get around pretty easily. You're all bundled up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, would you like to try to find the house now? Camp out? Do you want to sneak up in the dark to take a look?
My impression of the general feeling is that we're going to do it now. At least scout things out. Although, if I recall correctly, Emmerich was in a windowless room. So there's only so much scouting you can do from the outside.
He was in like a basement kind of.
Yeah.
Basement looking place. So yeah. There's probably not an outer door or window to where Emmerich is exactly.
Right.
Okay.
Just what I would do if I had kidnapped someone. So
yeah. No, just put him in a nice room with big
put him in the
windows.
greenhouse. You know what people like?
Yeah,
greenhouses.
Sure. The sunroom. Okay, so one of you make a survival check for me. Any of you can do it, doesn't matter.
Mine's bad.
Mine is like a +1. I don't know.
It's wisdom based, right?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe Ophelia should do
Probably. Okay, yeah, it's not too hard to find. Yeah, so you guys have to kind of wander around a little bit. Luckily, this area is technically outside the boundaries of the town of Blumenthal. And you kind of remember, like, the history of this area is that it used to be a sort of more traditional, like, landholder, like, tenant farmer kind of setup. Like, there were some noble families. Okay. There were some noble families that had these big estates, and there were, like, peasants who worked on the land. And then at some point after the formation of the empire, probably pretty quickly after, because this was like the heart of the Dwendalian Empire, was here in the Zemni Fields. The crown, the Dwendals, took official like royal ownership of all of the land that is now Blumenthal, and they are the ones who like rent it out to the people who live there. So these noble families were kind of like, they still have their big old houses, and they still have, like a large-ish amount of land around them, but not like not miles and miles and miles of farmland. It's just kind of like a vacation home sort of thing. So like a big house and then like nice grounds. They don't really have like their own farms here. Yeah. So, and also the Crown's Guard watchtowers that are in Blumenthal, they don't really extend past the town's official borders. They're not on like the private land owned by these devils. So you're not at a big risk of getting spotted by Crown's Guard if you don't go into the actual like farm. So you really don't see anyone out here. Yeah, and after a while it's dark, but you all have dark vision. I think Ida Ida has some goggles now. She's very excited about them. I think she just got them. Or wait, no, is Ida might be, oh, Ida's a half elf. I forgot that she wasn't human. Ida's has dark. Atka is human. Wow, forgetting NPCs.
Ophelia's goggles reign supreme.
Yeah. Where's the fucking thing? Where's the regular healing potion? I can't find the healing potion.
Can't find what?
Nothing.
Hmm.
I'm trying to add a healing items inventory.
Oh, I had trouble with this. It's potion of healing. You can't put
Yeah,
healing
and
first.
Yep. Okay. Oh. Okay, so yeah, you guys find it without too much trouble. And yeah, you see a big fairly large sort of old-fashioned style like Zemnian manor house. It's big, it's mostly made of stone. It looks a little bit shabby as you approach it. You don't have like a super clear view from how far you are, but like some of the outbuildings are kind of run down. The gardens and yard area are like not that well kept. It doesn't look like a ton of money has been poured into this place recently. And like maybe they don't have very many people helping keep it up. But you know, the house is still like it's not like falling down or anything. And there are definitely signs that people have been in and out. Like there's a road, you know, leading up to the door. It has some cart tracks on it, some more recent cart tracks. From a distance, you can see lights in a couple of the windows, things like that. So it's definitely inhabited.
Is there a gate?
Yes. I don't know that there's a wall. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it probably has like a wall around it with a gate. It's not a particularly high wall. Adakora would have no trouble climbing it. The rest of you would probably also be fine. It's not like a big, like fortified castle sort of situation.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a wall that's maybe like 6 feet high and a gate in it.
Does it seem like
Go
anybody's
ahead.
watching the gate?
Oh yeah, there is a guard outside the gate. You see, actually make a perception. Everyone can make perception checks.
Okay.
You definitely see a guy outside the gate.
Is that everyone?
Yeah.
14.
9.
7.
Wow. Well, what did I
All right.
get?
I forgot about that. I don't think her perception is that high.
Ida,
It's
save us.
weird if I were the
Charlie.
highest perception roll of the
She has a
night.
+2, so she rolled a 13.
Okay. Barely beat me.
Yeah. You see, I thought you rolled a 14.
You said she rolled a 13 with a +2.
Oh,
so I
no,
thought you meant
she got
was
a
higher than me.
13 total. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
She got a 13. She rolled an 11. So very mediocre.
Cool.
So yeah, you can see there's probably 2 guys on the gate. It's like weirdly well guarded for given how like unkempt it looks. Like all of the money that they could be using to like get the place fixed up is maybe going towards guards. So yeah, there's 2 guys outside the gate. There's at least one sort of walking around the perimeter of the wall. And since you're kind of from a distance, you can see there's someone in front of the main door to the house, like the big main door. There's at least one guard in there. And maybe there are some other people inside the wall. You can't really tell from here. But the house itself probably has kind of a porch or like some stairs going up to this big door. And you can see somebody standing by the door.
I will relay this information.
Okay, Ida's like, yeah, I can only see 4 guys also. I think the area outside the wall is kind of overgrown. Like the grass is a little too tall, and there's like just some trees and bushes like scattered around. So there's some cover.
Okay.
But it's not like solid trees or anything. Like there's definitely empty spaces that you would have to run through to get to the wall.
Are we visible from the gate where we're at now?
Probably. I'm sure you guys probably stopped somewhere where you wouldn't be visible yet.
Yeah, that would have been a concern. So
Yeah.
I'd hope.
I can imagine. Yeah, you find like a stand of trees, pretty far away where you are observing all of this from. And yeah, it's this like sort of clump of trees is big enough for you guys and the horses to kind of hide as you watch. And yeah, the guards aren't like doing anything, so you don't think they've spotted you. They're just standing around. Oh my god. A classic.
Well, keep it in your back pocket. You never know.
Technically, I can also make the object continuously emit an odor. So, in theory, I could distract guards with an object that smells so bad they have to leave.
Hell yeah.
That would be really funny. Well,
we should probably leave the horses here.
yeah. We can tie them to trees. That'll be fine,
Yeah.
right? I don't know a lot about horses.
I think it'll be fine.
These are D&D horses. You can do whatever you want with them.
Yeah. It's not, yeah. Probably nothing is going to eat them out here.
Yeah. So let's tie up the horses. Before we go straight to smelling cup gambit, it probably makes the most sense for me to stealth around a little bit and see if there's a good place to climb over the wall. We'll present this idea to the group.
Sounds good to me.
How tall is the wall?
6 feet.
Yeah, that would probably be best.
Right.
Just don't get stuck in the window this time.
Well, the wall doesn't have any windows. We can save that for.
Yeah.
Don't warn me too early. You know, I'm really forgetful about that kind of thing. I don't suppose Ophelia has a blessing for me. Bless me, Ophelia, for I need to stealth real good.
Okay. I will do enhance ability for stealth for advantage for an hour.
Nice.
And that's for all of your dex-based checks, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's a skill.
You don't take damage from falling 20 feet or less.
Nice.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay.
So you can fall out the
Thank you.
window if you want.
I appreciate that.
Just if you
That's
want.
constructive.
I feel like it.
Do it on purpose. It would be funny.
God.
So I will go try to sneak around away from the gate, try to avoid the guard who's strolling the perimeter, and get a sense of how fast he's doing it.
Okay, make a
See if
stealth
there's anything
check.
else I see, but mostly trying to see if there's a way in that would be easiest. Stealth check. Okay. 29.
Okay. Yeah, you Adakora leaves the trees and just like disappear. Like you can't see him anymore. The girls are just like, damn, he's I was like, are you sure he didn't fall into a hole or something? Damn.
I never get any credit.
I mean, she's impressed. She's just also razzing you.
I'm not there. I can't hear it.
No, I know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you get closer. The guards do not seem to notice you. How close do you want to get to the wall?
Well, I can't see over it, so I'm not that tall. So first, I'd like to stay far enough away that I can see if like there's any more guards there that I didn't notice before, and if possible, how well armed they are. I guess.
Okay. Make another perception check.
16.
Nice. Okay. Pull up their stats. Okay, so in addition to the two guards outside the gate, the one walking around the wall, and the one by the door, you can see that there are a couple of other. There's like two other guys hanging out in the courtyard. Hard to tell if they're like on guard duty. They don't seem to be doing anything specific. They're just kind of hanging out and talking. But they're there. If there was a fight, they could probably jump in to help.
Okay. Are they talking about anything interesting?
I don't know if you could hear them from here.
Yeah, probably not.
Not what they're saying. They're sitting like by the door of a building that you think is probably like a stable or something. So there's six people that you can see.
Okay.
3 outside the wall, 3 inside the wall. And they're all reasonably well armed. They all have multiple weapons.
Okay. Unexpected. And can I get a sense of how fast the patrolling guard is going? What's his beat?
He's not walking super fast. I think he probably like stops every once in a while and just sort of like watches in a direction. Just, to make sure he's not missing anything. So yeah, it probably takes him a good like 15 minutes to circle the wall all the way.
Okay.
But he's not on like a time schedule. He's just sort of
right.
Keeping an eye out. But yeah, these folks seem reasonably alert. They're wearing armor. They're armed. They look, competent. Ooh.
That would have been really good, though. Why don't we wait until morning and then you can fake his death and we'll get him out real easy. He can just pose as Undertakers.
You mean I can fake his death from outside the house and not inside, which we have to do anyway?
No. I was thinking like we fake his death and then when they get rid of the body, we take it.
But I mean, I have to get in there to...
Yeah, sneak in, sneak back out.
Do
You don't have it prepared, so it doesn't matter.
That I'm wearing? It's not exactly conducive to sneaking around.
Or like, if it goes real bad, like, remember when we got, what's his name? Heinrich? The guy, Helmet Heinrich. Helmet Heinrich. And he went down, so they just left. And then we nursed him back to health. Like, we could do that.
My initial thought was that we should just let him die and then Ophelia can revive him later, but then I realized that Revivify only has a minute. So
yeah, but like if you fake his death, it doesn't matter because you don't have it prepared, but that would have been interesting.
You could also, you probably don't have gentle repose prepared.
No.
Because otherwise you could kill or let him die gentle repose, and then that gives you like 10 days or something to.
We could just let him die, then bring him to Torkel. Let's do that.
I guess you could do that.
I'm sure the Trust would love for us to do that.
Oh my god.
I hope this is the conversation that Ophelia, Ida, and Antimony are having.
Oh, absolutely. They're like whispering about this. Yeah. Adakora is blissfully ignorant. Okay, and yeah, you find the wall is in pretty good shape. But there's probably a spot where like some of the stones on the top have been like knocked down. Maybe it would be a little easier to climb. But it also doesn't look like it's going to be a super, super tough climb.
Right. Okay. Then I will report back. There's actually, I just pop up. Hi.
Oh my gods.
There's actually six of them, at least outdoors. So that's fun, but we should have enough time to get over the wall. I don't know what after that.
I mean, this place has to have like back entrances or something, right?
I can't really see over the wall, so I guess I could have asked if there's anything I can do to. Could have climbed up part way and looked, but I didn't do that. So there's outbuildings and things. There's a stable, and presumably they've got a cellar or something, but I don't know where any of that is, and I won't be able to know until I get over the wall.
Well, how good are the two of you at sneaking?
Not.
I guess average.
I'm pretty good at.
Yeah, I'm like really not, I think. Oh, no, I'm okay. I think.
All right, well, I mean, what are we doing? Are we like come out tonight?
That's a good question. I don't know that there's much advantage to waiting until it's light out, but unless we want to try a more elaborate ruse. I don't know how good you are at lying, but these two are not good at lying.
How good is Ida lying? Not great. She has a +1.
Plus, it's much harder to lie to someone if you don't know what they want. And for all we know, Mustache Man, whose name I definitely have written down, I don't remember what it is, has already seen a lot of us and and given our descriptions to the relevant parties. So
Probably the sooner we can cause chaos, the better.
I'm up for anything.
I guess we're doing this.
What did the room that Emmerich was in look like again? Did it look
Looked like
definitely a basement, or like could it be a cellar or somewhere else?
I think it probably had like stone walls, and it was pretty big.
I took notes on this.
Yeah, I think Aurelia's impression was that it was more likely to be a basement.
And it seems like,
but yeah, it had like stone walls and a wood floor, and there was a bunch of like other shit in here. Like he was chained up, but there was, or maybe just tied up, but there was a lot of like boxes and shit down here. Like clearly it was also still being used for some storage.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go get some more water.
Okay.
I am.
Howdy.
Okay, are we all set?
I am here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, are we gonna play this?
Well, I can cast invisibility, but only on a maximum of 2 people. Because that's all of my second level spell slots, as I have caster. but possibly it might be useful to put invisibility on, like, maybe Adakora or someone who can, like, scout ahead a little bit so we know where Emmerich is in the house. And we're not just, like, going in there blindly stumbling around.
Right.
How does invisibility, is it multiple targets on a higher level casting?
Let's see.
Because I think it's concentration. I don't think you can.
Oh,
cast it
yeah.
twice.
Yeah, it is concentration, actually. Although, technically, once I get a 3rd level spell slot, I can do it on 2 people at once.
Okay.
So. But we're not there yet.
Okay.
Is it? Do the guards look like they like interact with each other at all? Like, do they look at each other or talk? Can we tell?
Yes.
Yes for do
Yeah,
they
there were
talk,
some
or
of them.
yes for they're talking?
There were 2 inside that Adakora saw talking. The 2 at the gate, like, exchange words occasionally, but they're mostly just standing there. And then the other 2 are kind of by themselves. There's the one at the inside door and the one walking around.
They're probably too close to try to pick off one by one. We could probably get the guy just walking around, and then if it becomes a fight, that's one less person to handle. But also, if we take him out, then they might notice he's not doing the circles, so.
I don't know this for sure, but I suspect if we start a fight, more people might come out of the house.
What I was intending was to get someone before they could make an alarming sound, not
Right.
to start an actual fight. But if we get caught and there is a fight and we did take out someone, it would be one less person.
Well,
Ida asks Timony, how long can you make someone visible for?
Let's see. It's up to an hour, assuming nothing like. Assuming I maintain concentration.
So if you cast it on Adakora, he could maybe like go all the way in the house and find Emmerich. Is that what you were thinking?
Possibly. I mean, I think the problem I'm kind of seeing is that we don't really know the sort of the map of the house. Like, we don't really have a map of what's going on in there. And we don't really know where he's being kept exactly.
I think it makes sense for me to go in. Invisibility would only help, I assume.
Yeah.
I guess the question is, do we want me to go in and try to get Emmerich out if I find him, or come back and report within an hour if it seems like that's not happening? And I guess, do you guys want to try picking off guards? That seems a little bit tricky. You could potentially do that while I'm in there.
If he's able to get out with you, then that seems like the easiest thing to do.
That would be the simplest, although it's probably going to be a lot harder getting him out
Yeah.
Yeah.
than getting you in. I mean, Aurelia said he was pretty injured.
Yeah.
That's true. We don't really know what condition he's in.
And it's not like Adakor can make him invisible once he's in there.
No. Probably not in range for a message to let you guys know some other way than actually coming back out and letting you know.
Well, maybe, like, if you are able to get to him and free him or whatever, we could start a fight on the opposite side of the house and draw people toward us until you guys are out, like the back way or something, through a window. Then we could just, like, run away.
At the very least, we could do a distraction.
Yeah.
We could just pretend to be local hoodlums who are like throwing rocks at the house.
I'd love to be a hoodlum.
The hoodlums with the, like, armor and the weapons.
Yeah.
Ida's like, well, I'm not wearing any armor, and all I have is this staff. So I could definitely pretend to be a local hoodlum.
Or, smelly cup is always an option.
Yeah, there's a smelly
yes.
cup.
The problem is still that you have no way of knowing if I've found him or not.
Right.
Do we know when concentration falls? Because if you, like, out of character, if Adakor, like, attacks something, then the invisibility will fall.
Oh, that's true.
Or if he casts message.
Yeah, you
Or
would
if I
definitely
cast
notice the spell ending.
True. So maybe then the idea is if you find Emmerich, cast message or something. And it doesn't even have to reach us, but it will make invisibility drop, and I'll feel that.
I guess.
Although then you and Emmerich have to, in plain sight, get out of the house.
I mean, maybe first things first, go in, get out, tell us about stuff. Then we can maybe make a better plan from there.
That might be the best option.
This is not necessarily a related question. I know at least once a day we're supposed to message someone at the Soul. most likely Torkel. Does that start tonight since we left?
I would say it starts tomorrow.
Okay. So if we don't do it tonight, they're not going to be like, well, they're dead.
No. Torkel's like asleep already. Yeah, he. I mean, they assumed
Sleep
it was
at
going to
10
take
p.m.
you a while to even get to town. So, like. But yeah, if you guys don't check in tomorrow, they're going to be like, wonder what happened to those kids.
So the current plan is for me to get in and out within an hour, regardless of whether I find Emmerich.
I think so. At least then we'll kind of have a better idea of the layout here, what we're dealing with.
Well, in the absence of any better ideas. Yeah, see what I can do in an hour.
I'm offended that you'd imply that my ideas are anything but excellent.
There's always a better idea.
Okay, so you're going to cast invisibility on Adakora. He is going to sneak into the house.
Yes, that is the plan. I guess if we're ready, I can do it now.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay, I will, sort of like pop my hand on Adakora's face like a child. Just like an open-handed palm on his, like, just in the middle of his face, and turn him invisible.
Thanks.
Making touch spells as obnoxious as possible.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, I'm going. And if it goes wrong, they'll know.
Because I'll feel the invisibility drop and just be like, oh shit.
Yeah, especially if it's before the hour is up, you know something bad has happened.
Yeah.
And then you guys can decide what to do amongst yourselves. Okay. So I guess I will sneak back toward somewhere that the guard isn't likely to be for a minute.
Yep. Yeah, you can do that pretty easily.
Okay. Yeah. Probably more than 5 minutes, but you know. So with advantage, I wrote the same on both times. That's a 21 to sneak back again. And then I gotta climb over the wall, I assume.
Yep. Yeah, just make an athletics check. It's gonna be a very high DC.
It's such a shame that it's athletics, which is strength based, rather than acrobatics, which is
you gotta pull yourself up with your skinny arm.
Oh no.
Well, 5.
Okay. Wow, that's so bad.
You you said it would be easy to climb, but it's a strength-based check.
Oh my god.
How many times should I roll for multiple tries?
Just roll one more time. Just see what happens.
Notably, I'm doing this quietly. That time I rolled a 7, so 6.
I forgot you had a negative strength. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you're invisible, so at least nobody can see you trying to climb up.
This is the version of my life.
Okay. How about you make an investigation check, another one for me.
Okay. Oh. 18.
Okay, you like just pick a bad section of the wall. So then you go around a little farther and you find an easier section to climb.
Okay.
But all this takes up like 10 minutes. Like you wasted some time doing this.
Oh God.
If I add like a sick flip, does it become an acrobatics roll?
No. I mean, how high can you jump? You can't flip over the wall, can you? Maybe if you could like vertical leap over the wall, it could be acrobatics, but
what if he just parkoured over the wall?
Yeah, can't hit parkour over the wall.
I mean, how high can you jump? I don't remember what the vertical jump rule is. 3
I don't.
Okay, never mind. So like 2 feet, which is pretty good, but probably not enough to get you over.
So I'm just doing another straight roll again.
Oh, you could just climb over. It's fine. I'm just saying you wasted some. You found a section that was easier and you got over, but you wasted like 10 minutes doing all this.
Okay.
That's the consequence. I'm not going to make you roll more than time.
Okay. Are there any, I'll say obvious, any back entrances that look like they're not guarded? Anything I can see like that?
Yep, yeah, there's definitely a back door into the house. It does not have a guard on it.
Okay. Is it locked?
It is for sure locked.
I will attempt to unlock it with my thieves' tools.
All right.
I don't remember how thieves' tools rolls work.
I assume you're proficient.
Yes.
I think it's a sleight of hand.
Do you have expertise in thieves' tools?
I don't.
You can get
I think
expertise
you
in
as
tools.
a rogue, yeah.
Probably not. Well, expertise, you have to like decide that you have to assign the expertise to it. So.
I don't think that I do, but I don't know where I would look for that.
So either. I don't.
Features and traits, rogue features, proficiencies, expertise.
Oh yeah, it'll probably.
My proficiency bonus is doubled for. Okay, it doesn't say I have expertise in using thieves' tools, but I do have them.
So it's just Dex plus your proficiency bonus.
Okay, but it is a Dex roll, so it's at an advantage right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah. You still have. Yeah. How long does enhanceability last?
Hour.
Okay, so you're going to run out of that before you run out of invisibility.
Yes.
That's been on longer, but
okay.
You still have it.
So it's my roll plus sleight of hand plus proficiency. That's what I heard.
Just Dex plus proficiency. Sleight of hand is a different skill.
Okay. Well. Okay, whatever. Then it is a 19.
Okay. Yeah, you unlock the door.
Okay. Is there anyone beyond the door? Who noticed if I start to push it open? Does anyone go, what?
Make you don't hear anything if you open it a little bit. Do you want to like look inside? I
Yeah.
don't think it has a window on it, but you can look through the little opening. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I can just peek because I'm invisible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't see anyone. There's like kind of a dim little hallway, and you don't see anyone immediately inside.
Okay. And I will continue in. I'm looking for wooden doors. I kind of assume they're all wooden, but
Yeah,
probably on this floor leading preferably downward, or that look like, or stairs that are going downward, I guess.
It's because of her Percy. Yeah. She's read so many books about how guns work that she would just know.
Yeah.
It's like I've looked at so many diagrams. Oh. Yeah.
Genuinely.
Sorry, I'm eating popcorn.
I'm just imagining Antimony dressing up as Percy for Halloween. Something. Making a gun out of cardboard.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So you were in right now you're in kind of like a back like wing of the house. It looks like as you wander through here, there's like some storage rooms, there's kitchens and things. It's a lot of like rooms with sort of practical uses. Some of the doors are closed, but they just look like they're doors into like small-ish rooms because the doors are all pretty close together.
Okay.
Just make an investigation check. And make another stealth check while you're in here.
Okay.
To refresh it.
Investigation 18. Stealth. Oh, that was both rolls on same roll on both dice. Again, 28.
Okay. Yeah, there are not a lot, like, there doesn't really seem to be anyone awake as you wander around, especially if you, like, leave the closed doors alone. But yeah, eventually you find a staircase leading down a little ways. And you look down there and you see a short hallway, and there's definitely a guard down here.
Okay.
There is somebody standing in front of a door, a like large, heavy wooden door. So
this would be
whatever's
a
in
good
here is
time for a
important.
smelly cup. Just to get it. Yeah. Could send the crab in to kill him, and then that wouldn't compromise my
Put the cannon
invisibility.
on the crab.
Yeah. Can they do anything helpful here? Well, I can't ask if the door looks like what Aurelia saw because I didn't see it, but
Yeah.
description sounds probably similar.
It's
a wooden
yeah.
door. It's a
Mhm.
wooden door.
And there aren't like other doors around it. Like it looks like it's probably maybe the door into one large room, you know.
Yeah. Um, the thing is, even if I distract the guard long enough to unlock the door and see who's inside, then I still have to like lock the door again and leave so nobody's suspicious. Little. Hmm. I assume there's no kind of like peephole in the door or anything like that.
No, I don't think so. It has a lock, like a built-in lock, so there's like a keyhole,
Hmm.
but there's a dude standing right in front of it.
Yeah.
It would be hard to get at it there. And you might not be able to really see anything through it anyway.
Right. Okay. Going to go back the way I came. It's just one guard and just one exit out of that hallway, right? The way I came.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
Yep,
I'll
yeah,
make a little.
you found like an entrance to some stairs. There's a little hallway at the bottom with just the one door at the end. And then just the one guard.
Okay. Um,
But you know, you're not sure how many other people are elsewhere in this house.
of course. I'll make a little map to this place in my head.
Okay.
And so far, I've encountered nobody else, no other guards.
Nope, not in the couple of hallways that you went through.
Okay. If I go a little further, like deeper into the house, do I start to hear or see anyone?
Make a perception check.
14.
Okay. Yeah, if you start kind of walking through other parts of the first floor, you start to get to like the slightly fancier rooms. You go to like the entrance hall. There's a staircase leading up to a second floor. There's like, a parlor. There isn't anyone in these sort of front rooms. And it's a little bit like it's just kind of run down in here. Like there's some paintings and tapestries. There's some like pieces of furniture that have sheets draped over them like they haven't been used for a while. You can hear as you sort of go through this area, there's a room a little farther back in the house with a closed door. You can hear people talking, but you can't make out what they're saying. Other than that, there doesn't really seem to be anyone on the first floor.
Have I encountered, like, can I see the front door from yet?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You found the front door.
Okay.
There's nobody
outside of
like
there.
immediately on this side, but yeah, there's one guy standing right outside the front door.
Okay. Um, I will listen at the door where I hear the voices just for a little while, and like not right up against it. So if anybody pushes it
Okay.
open, they won't hit
Right.
resistance. But just because I have a little more time,
Sure.
spend a few minutes there.
Okay. Make another perception.
Bad 7.
They're talking so quietly. It sounds like maybe 3 people, but they're talking really quietly, and they're kind of overlapping. Like they keep interrupting each other and talking over each other, so you can't really tell what they're saying.
Okay.
But you think there's at least 3 people in this room.
Okay. Out of curiosity, are there any portraits of the family around?
Probably, yeah.
People?
There's definitely some portraits. There's a couple that are like the clothing they're wearing is very old fashioned. So you're like, okay, that's probably like great grandparents or something. I'll say, yeah, there's a portrait that looks like it could be more recent. That's like 2 adults and a boy of maybe like 8 or 9. That looks like the most recent portrait.
Mm-hmm. We'll look at it for a minute.
Do you want to know what they look like? I can describe.
Sure.
Super detailed images of them. Let's see. Okay, so the man and the woman are about the same age. The man has blonde hair and a very like neatly trimmed beard and mustache. He is very handsome. The woman has darker hair. It's like dark brown. The kid looks more like the man. He's blonde. He's very like, I don't know, just like a small Zemnian child with like freckles and a round face. Yeah, they look, like wealthy and beautiful for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Has this portrait been noticeably more kept up than anything else around here?
Not really. It's also a little dusty.
Mm-hmm.
All the paintings are a little bit dusty.
Okay. I'll go back the way I came. I'll check my work, make sure I can still find. Still one guard. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if I still have some time, I will go back outside and try to go around the outside of the house, approximately where that room would be.
Okay.
See if there's a cellar door or anything that might lead into the back of that room, just in case.
Okay. You don't find anything.
Okay.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be. There probably aren't any other doors into the house. I think it's just there's like the front door and the back door. And then there's some ground floor windows too, but they're mostly shuttered. A few of them are boarded up. But they're all kind of in the wrong place to be the room you saw. You think that room was probably more towards the middle of the house?
Okay. All the same, I will make note of any windows that aren't boarded up that are kind of close-ish to it as best that I can guess.
Sure.
Because you never know when you're gonna try and fail to climb out of a window.
So true. Yeah, some of the windows are just shuttered, some of them are boarded.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I really needed popcorn. I really felt the need. Well, how much time do I have?
See. After all that, maybe like 10 minutes.
Okay. I'll try to unlock some of the windows while I'm still invisible. Just lay the groundwork.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, I will say there are on the back wall that you think is like close-ish to the room where you found Emmerich. I'm going to say there's 5 ground floor windows. 2 of them are boarded up,
Okay.
and then 3 of them are shuttered. You can't really tell. Like you push on the shutters, they're all sort of locked. You can, yeah, just make like a thieves tools check and see if you can figure out like are they latched from the other side, like what's up with them.
Okay. 17.
I think your the enhance abilities is over now because that was cast
Oh,
before invisibility.
okay. I can re-roll if you would
No, it's
like.
fine. Just you can use that one.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. 17. Okay. Yeah, you go into one. You're able to like pop up the latch on the other side. And open the shutters. It opens into. Are you like trying to do this as quietly as possible?
Yes.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Straight roll. Oof. Okay. Rolled bad, but 13. Because I have a high bonus.
That you do, or no, yeah, that you have advantage on because you're invisible.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see if the other dice does any better. Much better. 28.
Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, you open this window. You see. This looks like it might have been like servants' quarters kind of room at one point. It's just like a fairly small bedroom. Oh no. And there's one person in here asleep. She kind of looks like the rest of the guards though. Like this person does not look like a servant who works in a big house. Like she's got her leather armor on the chair. There's like some weapons in here.
Okay.
This looks like maybe an off duty fighter
Okay, cool.
of some kind. But you are very quiet and she doesn't wake up.
Okay. That's probably all the time that I have.
Yeah, you can probably get like one more of the shutters.
But I still have to climb back over the wall.
Oh, true.
So I'm gonna head back to the wall.
All right.
As embarrassing as that is.
You can find like a box to stand on, like something that will help you climb over.
I can find a box. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to roll. You just might get back over. It's fine.
Okay. Well, if it was going to be that easy, I would have done another one of those. And I will return as my invisibility is running out, I assume.
Pretty close, yeah.
At the time. Not Caleb Widowgas good, but okay.
What have you guys been up to? Just waiting?
I feel like we've been discussing something really silly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also debating on whether if Adakora gets stuck in the house, do we just leave him there?
Oh my god. Ophelia, you feel your spell end, but that's not worrying. It just kind of runs out
Yeah.
at the time limit. None of the outside guards do anything. Ida's sort of keeping an eye on them. So as far as you can tell, everything's going fine.
Can we see any of the guards from our hiding spot? I forget. I feel like we can see like a couple of them.
You can see the 3 that are outside. I mean, one of them you can only see when he's like on this side of the house, the one who's walking around. And then you can see one at the front door. And you know there's 2 more in like the courtyard area behind the wall, but you can't see them. They're just like too close to the wall.
I feel like just for fun, I'm just like observing the guards.
Okay. Yeah, they're the ones at the gate, like, they seem kind of bored. They just like make very brief comments to each other occasionally. And they'll like talk a little bit to the one who's walking in a lap. At some point they swap out, like one of the guys who's standing there starts walking around and the guy who was walking stops and waits at the gate.
Oh,
they have like a little argument. Yeah, they have a little argument about it first.
Oh no.
About like whose turn it is to walk next. But finally, yeah, one of them goes.
Well, I'm back.
Where are you?
Still invisible, I guess.
Ugh.
I tap Ida on one shoulder and then say boo on the other side when she turns to look.
Oh my, why would you do that?
I'm a mature adult.
She tries to elbow you.
I probably really hurt. One's got sharp elbows.
Oh yeah, she might. I'm just gonna roll to see if she misses you. It's not gonna do any damage, but because you're still invisible.
Still invisible.
Yeah. What's your armor class?
16.
Okay. Yeah, she gets you. She elbows you in the ribs. It hurt. You don't take any damage, but it hurts.
Damn, do you sharpen those?
Yeah.
I
Bleeds
deflate
out on the
like
spot.
I deflate like a beach ball.
Oh God. So what did you find?
So I'll start drawing in the dirt. So there's a back door here. You go this way. There's, I'm showing them.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's down here. This is the only stairwell downward I found, and there is one guard at this door. There aren't a lot of other guards around awake, but I don't know how many of those rooms are full. At least one of them has a sleeping guard, and I assume more. Tell them, there's a room where some people are talking, couldn't hear what they were saying. In general, not a lot of people awake right now. Just the ones we've seen outside. The guard at the door.
So there's at least 5 more people in the house, probably more.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we're going to have a better shot at this when it's daytime and more people are awake.
I doubt it.
Right? Yeah. That would be really convenient. I mean, the only upside to waiting would be that you could prepare spells according to your plan. If we slept a night, says Ida.
We could. I think the longer we stay here, the higher the risks are for us getting found. Unless we go way the fuck away and then just come back.
Yeah, we could camp farther up the road.
I could bring the silence and then how close was the hallway and the person from one of the entrances, the windows or the doors?
Not close to any windows. How far from the back door? You said towards the middle of the house, so
Yeah, so
not super close.
Not super close. A ways. What's the range on silence?
Well,
Is it
I'm looking
like
at
a
it,
radius?
and it does not say a point I can see within range. It's 120 feet.
I think it's out from you, maybe.
No, because the range is 120 feet, and the area of effect is a 20 feet.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Radius.
Oh, well then, yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, if the range is 120 feet, then you could put it anywhere within 20 feet, I suppose.
Because I was just thinking, if there's potentially 40 feet of 40 or less feet from the door, we could just like plop it in the middle there, and then we could just silently make the trip and kill that guy, and then, well, I mean, like injure him. I don't know. Are we a killing party? I guess we are. Kill that guy and.
You've done a little killing. It's happened.
And then get the guy and get out, and he will just. And then we can just not alert anyone else because it'll be completely silent. The one thing is we can't cast shit that we need to speak with, but I have a mace.
I don't think 40 feet is enough to get the whole area between the door and the door that's being guarded, because there are some stairs that go down.
Maybe we can just get as much of it as we can.
I'll make some maps for. I don't know if we're gonna do this whole thing tonight. Probably not, because it's getting a little late. But I can make some like maps of the. But I think there'd probably be like a 20-foot gap of no silence between the back door and like into the hallway.
I think that should be okay. That's less than a turn. We can open the door and get in there. Like running or walking or whatever.
So this makes no difference for me. But our idea now is waiting until tomorrow or waiting until tomorrow night?
Probably night, because we don't know how the rounds will change.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Very
and also
true.
You brought clothes, so I mean.
I brought clothes.
Oh my
I brought
God.
clothes enough for all of you,
sense,
but they're
really?
my size and you're short.
I see. Nothing I can't destroy with a knife. So I mean, someone was expecting to stay here for more than a night.
If memory serves, this would have had to be something that Ida got, but I put camping stuff on our list. So if she went and got what I wrote down on my list, then she got camping stuff.
Yeah, you guys have camping gear.
So it's cold. But yeah, as long as we're camping well out of sight of the house, and hope I wouldn't want to go to Blumenthal because we probably would be recognized.
Yeah, and Timothy and Ida and I were talking about it, and like if he dies, he dies. You know, we can just take his body back and get Torgal to revive him. So I think waiting another night is fine.
I don't know about that, but if he dies because we didn't plan how to do this well, and then it's also a net loss. So
So you're saying either way is fine because Torgal can revive him.
I'm saying if you need to prepare spells and you think otherwise there's no chance or significantly less of a chance
I think
of being able to deal with this.
I think we would just have to fight everybody, and I don't know if fighting everybody is
I don't think we can fight everybody because I think there are more people asleep in there who would be woken up by fighting.
Well, that's what I mean by everybody, like literally everybody.
Yeah.
Including the sleeping people.
You think we could take on all the sleeping people? I don't know how many sleeping people there are. Maybe you're right.
I mean, if not, we go out in a blaze of glory. But I mean, maybe it would be smarter to wait.
What I'm saying is that I trust the spell casters to tell me if they think they need another day.
Maybe another day would be smart. I could bring silence and also maybe the death spell. But I don't know what that's going to do for us. But I could switch it out for locate object, because what the fuck are we locating here? Unless it's a corpse.
Oh God.
I mean, if there was a corpse, they probably wouldn't be guarding it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, unless there's something else in that room and it's not the guy after all, but
I'm just saying, it would be so out of character. It would be so fun to like sneak in, fake his death, and then they come in. They're like, "He's dead. What do we do?" And then we make off with the corpse while they're arguing about it.
oh
it
my
would be
God.
cool, but
It'd be so much
Ophelia's
fun.
chances of survival are like 0.
But you could have invisibility on you.
It dies
That's
as soon
true.
as I cast a spell.
Well,
And then I'm in the
Yeah,
room.
getting-
wait, can't. This is getting more elaborate by the second, but couldn't Antimony go in like in disguise and then cast it on you after you?
Then I have
Yeah.
to get in while not being invisible?
No,
can
you could
cast
get
it
in
twice.
invisible,
I see.
cast it again at the time, or I mean, get out at the time of his corpse being discovered and just sneak back in.
Yes, with my famous 1 stealth, I will.
As long as someone is there to sneak the corpse back out, it doesn't matter who.
If we have to sneak a corpse back out, why don't we just sneak a person who can like walk, so we don't have to carry him?
Because I think they'd be more worried about tracking down a person, and they wouldn't be watching. They wouldn't be like, okay, somebody watch the corpse while we decide what to do.
Okay, but if a corpse went missing, I would be pretty concerned.
Yeah, but they probably wouldn't notice for a little while. That's what I'd be hoping.
I mean,
I
what
guess,
if they
yeah.
like?
The corpse won't be.
Or we wait for them to dispose the corpse, but I don't know if they have an incinerator, and that would be
Oh
very
God,
unfortunate.
yeah. What if they try to burn him? Also,
that would be bad.
How long does it fake his death?
I think it's an hour.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, that does not give us much time.
Death.
You don't have to prepare the fake death spell. Just from the moment that you said it existed, I have really been curious.
One day you guys will
I also
find
do
a good
enjoy-
use for it.
I used it successfully once, and it was very good.
When?
Not in this campaign, but
Oh, okay.
Oh. I was like, Ophelia has used this?
God.
it was very enjoyable. But maybe we should just go away, bring some cool spells, and then attempt to silently extract him while only fighting 1 person. Unless you want to go in and just try and like get him now, but if that person's watching the door, then in my video games there would be like a pool of water that goes into the basement that we can use water breathing with and like just swim under.
Yeah.
There's no moat.
What if we
Yeah.
set the house on fire and one of us uses the potion of fire resistance?
Oh my God.
It's a stone house. God damn it.
Stone house. That's right.
I was actually down for that. I was like, that might. Yep.
Yeah, they're all and like the shed and the stable are also stone.
God damn it.
I mean, okay. I could set a random tree on fire to distract the guards outside.
There are lots of potential distractions we could use if we need to, or even just as a precaution. Although I imagine if the distraction is too on the nose, that might come back to bite us.
Yeah.
Are there,
Because
like,
if we can do it all silently and none of the guards outside or the people inside hear what's up, assuming the setup is the same tomorrow night.
That would be
That's
preferable.
great, in and out. But if someone is likely to hear, then it's pretty different. Or even if
Well-
we send a screaming cup over the wall and then they are really suspicious about what that might mean.
Another thing is that it is where is it? Find it on my list. It's a second level spell, so I could cast silence on multiple spots where we are and just like carry the silence over until we get to the place. So we could like break down the door silently and then walk down there silently. And then I could just cast it again.
Can you control how big it is?
No, I think it's always 20 feet radius.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, if anybody wanders through it, they'll probably
I'll
notice.
notice, yeah.
But
I can just put it like in the ground, like further into the ground. Because I don't have to see the point.
yeah, it says a point you choose within range, so
So, which I think is kind of insane, but
that's wild, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, my concern is if we did it at the stairs, we wouldn't get. Would we get that room where they were talking?
Well, I can just
Was
put
that
it lower.
further off?
Wasn't it
That's
like
probably-
upstairs?
That's further off, but it's on the first floor,
Oh,
and
I can just move it to
the
the side,
storeroom
too.
is down some stairs into a basement.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably too far away.
Yeah.
The room where they were talking, but there's like other rooms in between there, and you don't really know who may or may not be in those rooms, so hard to say.
Okay.
We could just get the door enough to be silent as we attempt to open it and go in, and then just do the area where we kill the guy. So that the only place will make noise is in the hallway, but hopefully we won't step on a stupid board or something.
It definitely gives us a better shot than just going in cannon blazing.
Yes. Now, how many spells do I have that are verbal?
Mm.
Only you can tell us that.
Yeah,
So far out of my
that's
prepared
most of them.
spells. Yeah, it's all of them so far.
Verbal is like the most common one, I think. I'm not sure which one's verbal.
Well, I have a mace, so
There's a few.
Damn, Ophelia, learn sign language.
I already know like 6 languages, okay? And I'm trying to learn more. It's just taking time.
I mean, the hallway's pretty narrow. But if it's silent and I have surprise on my side, it might not take that many hits to get someone down. Don't want to bank on that, though.
I think we'd definitely have surprise. Except we'd have to cast silence on the turn where we're ready to go for it.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Okay. Since we have basically decided, unless someone has another objection, that we're doing this tomorrow night. Not now.
Yeah, I think that is a good idea.
Let's go back down the road a bit.
I would imagine like more than a bit. I don't want to be
Quite a bit. Somewhere where it looks like travelers could conceivably have stopped here and be going anywhere. and we're just camping out and not going toward the Aldersfeld's estate. Very subtle. Sorry, I'm taking notes, but I will encourage spellcasters to take notes about what spells they want and when they plan to use them, because I do not really understand spellcasting still. In real life, like Adacora doesn't, but I also shaky on it.
I'm also taking some notes. Okay. Okay. So you guys ready to camp out?
I think so.
Yeah, we have all of tomorrow to come up with a battle plan, assuming we're not attacked first, which who knows?
Right. Okay, so having not attracted any attention, you go back to the road. You head a little ways up, and you make camp. There are probably some places along this road where like people camp out pretty often too. Like this isn't suspicious behavior because this is a very well-traveled road.
That was the hope.
Yeah.
It's a normal.
And it's also very well, like this is not a dangerous part of the empire. This is maybe like one of the safest places to travel is like the road between Blumenthal and Rexentrum because it's so heavily like there's just so many Crowns Guard on either side. Okay, yeah, so you set up camp and you take a long rest. Do you want to do anything before you sleep?
If you call Torkel now, then you might not have to waste a spell slot on it tomorrow. Go. That is just a thought.
Yeah, I could do that. Um, I'll send to him.
All right, what do you say?
We're gonna do the fighting thing tomorrow, and I don't want to waste a spell slot, so this is tomorrow's we're fine thing. Thanks.
All right, it's a second before you get an answer. And then you hear a very groggy sounding Torkel say, "Oh, well, thank you for letting me know. Please be careful."
And presumably he rolls over and goes back to sleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can imagine. You hear like a little bit of snoring before the spell cuts out. All right, then you can take a long rest, prep your spells, and we will end it there.
Okay.